Division 2. Now third of them live here at Gamescom.
Welcome back, agents. We're here with the second panel and final panel for this year's Gamescom for the Division 2. Are you guys excited? Good. Yesterday, we had a look at what's just ahead for the Division 2 with Red Horizon, the third season of Year 8 that launched today. We also announced that crossplay is coming in November, and we gave a sneak peek at our next DLC, Echoes of Central Park, and announced a showcase on September 24th, so save that date. Today, we're looking even further ahead as the Division marches on. And I am your host, Anais, community developer on the Division 2. And with me, my co-host.
Hello, everyone. I'm Leo. I'm sorry for the the sound. I'm super excited to be here. It's very nice to see some faces that we saw yesterday and some new faces as well. A few small notes before we start. Today we dropped the new season. We are aware that some issues are happening, especially the audio bug. The team is working on that, so that's going to be fixed. We are on it. We also released the patch notes yesterday, so you can check all the information there. Discord giveaway, so make sure that you connect your Discord account to your Ubisoft Connect account so you can get the giveaway later. And on Twitch, make sure that you have your whispers on so our team can talk to you and grant you your season pass. That's it. Now, let's talk about this panel. This panel is about the future, as we mentioned. We're going to talk about the Division 2 survivors. We're going to talk about how we build this game together with the community, and a few more things yet to come for Division 2.
Yes, so let's introduce our speakers. First, somebody who's back today again, the man who may never get his Scorpio, our creative director on the Division 2, Yannick Bonchereau.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Also, the Einstein of survivors, and definitely not Yannick's father, creative director on the Division 2 survivors, Magnus Jansén. Welcome. Before we jump into survivors, Yannick, it really feels like it's never been a better time to be an agent. We say this a lot, but it's true, and it's just not a good tagline. I want to know, what does that mean to you, and what's your take on where we're at and where we're going?
Yes, so first I need to fact check you. You said two things. Yes, it is true. Magnus is not my dad, as far as I'm aware. But I did get my Scorpio, finally.
Come on! A veteran, finally!
So, Alex, now it's time to buff it a bit. Thank you very much. So, yes, I mean, we've been saying that. It's been kind of our tagline to say it's never been a better time to be an agent. But it is actually really true. I think when you look at the Division 2 today, where we stand and where we're coming from, it's actually our second Gamescom in a row now. I don't think we would be at Gamescom if the game wouldn't have a bright future ahead. We're on the 8th year of content. We have a tremendous amount of things already in the game for any people who joins us. Actually, we had some people this morning, I don't know if they're here again now, but we're new players that just started in February, and we're like just completely hooked on the game, and it's just very encouraging to see that we still have new people coming, like falling in love with the game and just making it their home game. And yeah, so we have a lot of things coming. We have a thriving community. We have big plans for the future for the Division 2. The game is very stable, performance-wise. Update-wise, we'll see. Ask me again tomorrow. But I know the team is very hard at work on that. But the game is in a very good place, and yeah, we have a bright future. We have a secured future. So it's just, it's really a fantastic thing to see, and I just can't thank the community enough for their support all along this way.
Amazing, and please. And one of the things that the community loves about survival, and we're bringing with survivors, is the snow. So let's start with that.
Yes, a year ago, you were here with me, Magnus, and we announced survivors to the community. And now we're back here. I think we can start with a little recap for those that didn't catch the announcement so everybody knows what Survivors is about.
Absolutely. So Survivors is an expansion that transforms Washington, D.C. into a wintry survival experience. It is inspired by the survival mode from Division 1, and that means that it is a more grounded and more challenging version of Division 2. And finally, in terms of like the wrap-up big picture, I want to mention that just like survival, you can play it either in PvE or PvP. That's your choice.
That's a good recap. We were back here at Gamescom, and of course, we didn't come empty-handed. What are we going to look at today?
Oh yeah, I mean, we are going to be watching the first footage of Survivors. So super, super, super excited about that, and nervous. It is, you know, the amazing team back at the studio. They've been working on transforming the Washington into this wintry survival experience that I mentioned, and I think transforming is sort of the key word here, and we'll be looking at that transformation here today in just a few seconds. And why do we want to transform? Well, the important thing is a lot of you watching here and here in the room have played a lot of Washington, D.C. in Division 2. So it's important to us that we take that knowledge, and yes, you'll have a little bit of use of that knowledge, but it also needs to be a fresh experience. It needs to be transformed. It needs to be new twists. You need to be able to discover it, get lost, and master it once again, this city that you know so well. So that's sort of the purpose. And also, final thing before and sorry for all the stalling before you get to look at it. The final thing I want to mention is this is captured from the editor. So it's not with all the living world, you know, NPCs patrolling around. We're just focusing on the environment this time around. So I think that's the sort of the setup, and let's just dive right into it. So the first thing you notice, right, is that there's a lot of snow, and as there should be. And it's one of the things we knew when we started is that we wanted to do volumetric snow. We wanted to do deep snow. And it's really transforming the city visually, but it's not just visual, and that's super important. I have so many important and exciting things to talk about when it comes to the snow and what it does to gameplay. We'll keep most of that for later, but one thing I do want to mention is that because we're now doing volumetric thick snow, we are actually going to be having the thickness modify the movement speed. So that's another tactical consideration for you as well, because obviously the snow is not going to be the same depth everywhere.
It's so great to see the snow, actually, having worked for so many years on Division 2 and being in summer, and for those of you that have been playing for so long the game, and it's always been in summer. And what's funny is that one thing you might not know is, you know, we've asked ourselves many times throughout those years of like, could we actually change the season in the game? And I know a lot of players have been asking for snow for a very long time, and we actually looked at it many times. And every time we looked at it, we realized we can't do it. It's just so much work to actually really transform the world and bring back snow tech and evolve it to really make it work. And every time we reach the conclusion, we cannot do it. And I think that, you know, seeing it in action here in engine, functioning and like looking so amazing already, I think that speaks to what we were talking about at the beginning of like the, you know, where we stand today with the Division 2 and how ambitious we can be, and having the team on Survivors, like achieving that thing that was thought impossible before. It's very cool to see.
Yeah, and the team is amazing. So the thing here, like, and it's such a cold, wonderful feeling. The thing I want to talk about here is the lighting, because in a game about winter survival, finding a place to get warm it will be the difference between life and death. So signposting that, which is like a developer term of like guiding you towards warm places, is super critical to us, and lighting is a huge part of that. So especially for new players where you don't know your way around, and most of you will feel like you're new players in the transformed Washington that we're building. And of course, it being snowy, we brought out just a little bit more Christmas decoration than what's in the OG map as well, because it's winter, the Division, you got to have that Christmas decoration. Let's have a look at the next one.
Oh, I know this place. I've seen it a few times.
So yeah, and I know, if you played the Division 2, you know this view, and this is, of course, how you approach the base of operations as well. And I think it was the Halloween stream last year when I talked about one of the most exciting things about the transformation is that we're taking places where you couldn't be fighting before, and we're now turning them into combat spaces. So you're fighting in places that was a non-combat, or is a non-combat space in the main mode. So that is one of the most exciting. It's also one of the hardest things to do. So we're super, super excited about doing that.
I think what's funny is here again, it's one of those things that we thought we couldn't do. If you remember, for those of you that were here, season 11, Reign of Fire, I don't know if any one of you remembers, at the end, in the climax, we send you to Coney Island. Turns out it's actually a lure. And in the meantime, the Black Tusk is attacking the White House. We send you back to the White House, and you arrive after the facts. The attack happened. One of the reasons why we built it that way is that, initially we're like, okay, we're going to bring combat in the White House. You're going to actually face the Black Tusk in the White House. We couldn't do it. Back then, we just couldn't do it because the White House was not built for combat. There's so much going on behind the hood, tech-wise. We just couldn't do it. So we actually just, framed the climax mission in a different way. So once again, here, it's something that is going to be possible now, thanks to survivors. So super cool.
And again, one thing that I mentioned in a previous stream is that we want to add more variety to the time of day and the weather compared to the survival mode from 2016. And just seeing a crisp, sunny day. And yes, I know some of you that are survival fans have played survival long enough to see the sunrise, but most players have not, right? It starts out at night, it starts out with a snowstorm. So to have more variety to the game session in terms of time of day and weather has been a big goal for us. And just to underline that thing that it's not just visual. The time of day impacts the temperature. It is colder at night. So the survival challenge is bigger. But on the upside, the NPC's vision range in Survivors goes down at night. So it's pros and cons, and it's up to you to make these choices. And we believe that this sort of adds longevity and variety to the experience.
And Magnus, I'm reading here the chat. Everybody's loving the snow, and this is something that we from the community side we always see how much the players love still Division 1 until this day. They love the snow, they love the vibe from Division 1, they love survival. Last year we had a Survive Fest, so we invited everyone to come back to Survival, to play, to share feedback, and that feedback helped us shape what's going to be Survivors. So what happened that made Survivors to become something bigger than just a game mode?
First of all, I love Survival absolutely to death. So it was all about expanding. It was all about making bigger, better in every possible direction. So it was about adding that variety. It was adding replayability. So it's really, we talked about the time of day and the weather, but it's also about what can we do with the session length. We have in Survival, those of you who know it, it's kind of like you're in for this long, and it's a fairly long and a very challenging experience, and it's like you either make it or you're not. But what we wanted to do is, okay, what if I don't have 45 minutes? That's what it takes for me, at least. What if you don't have that? And so we wanted to add some more variety like that. And then there's also replayability, just getting more things that shakes up the session and makes it different from session to session. So I think that if we have a look at this example here, we see a blocked path, but in another session it might be different. So yeah, this is really example of what we're experiment with to add that variety, to add the replayability, and to just make it something that you can play a long time and get better at it, learn the paths, learn these shortcuts that are bets, because it's a shortcut, yes, but it's also not always on. So you might want to take that road that is always open, but then this all goes into the tactical play that we want you to master in the long run.
Yeah, we know that players want to get your hands on this ASAP, and for some of you, it's not going to be that long until you get to test it out, because we're happy to announce that closed test sign-ups are coming later this year. So keep your eyes peeled on announcements coming up, and more information will be shared soon.
And we are super excited to invite you to the closed test. And earlier, during our live streams, we mentioned that the ETF would be the first ones to test it out. They did. We got some feedback from them. But now, what's the exciting part about finally putting the game in the hands of other players?
So, to all game developers, it's a given that you have to get outside eyes on the experience. This is how because if you play it every day, you become blind and you get too good at it, or etc. So that's a given. What's unique about working on the Division 2 is that we have access to an active, super experienced group of players that we can rely on and get not just fresh eyes, but also fresh and veteran, which is a very unique combination that we can't get if we just get people. If we go out and try to recruit anyone random from the street, it's going to be fresh eyes, but they're not going to have that experience with the Division. Many of you, many more hours than I have, right? So that's absolutely, it's priceless, really. So we, as you said, we have another test coming up. I want to thank those of you in the ETF that played already, and tested and gave us great feedback. And now we're super excited to open up to more players very, very soon.
We have another concept art, and let's talk about the ETF. So for those who don't know, the ETF is our elite task force, our insider program that works very closely with us to check things that are coming and all different aspects of the Division experience. And we take this feedback very seriously as part of the development. So Yannick, you've been close to the ETF since the beginning, and recently, last year, we revamped the program. We added more people, we changed the way that we did things. How do you see the value of the program based on how it has evolved since last year?
Yeah, the ETF it's an integral part of the Division, and we created it back in the days of Division 1 with update 1.4. I'm actually curious, who was playing Division 1 around the days of 1.4? I want to show a hand.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at that, my people. Well, it was a shit show before, and then it got better. But yeah, when we did 1.4, we needed to work with players. Clearly, there were things that didn't work. So we crafted this program, the idea of let's bring players in, let's talk to them, and that was very initially just a time thing. That was okay, we need this for this update to kind of correct course, and then hopefully we're on a better path. But actually, the collaboration with the ETF was so fruitful and so efficient that we decided to keep the program. And now we're here, actually 10 years later, because update 1.4 came out in August 2016. So it's been exactly 10 years. And the ETF still exists. And actually, in the ETF, we have members that were members back then, but are still here, and a bunch of new people as well. So anyway, what's important, I think, with the ETF for it to work is we need people with the right mindset. We need people that can be critical about what we do, but also frame it and phrase it in a correct way. Like everybody can, criticize, but it's important to do it in a productive way, in an objective way, in a constructive way. So we need the right kind of mindset. And to be able to select the right people, we need a structure. And that's really what I think changed from last year, is we've really, behind the scenes, reworked and rethought how to work with the ETF, how to recruit the right people, how to create the correct opportunities for feedback, because it's one thing to have channels available for people to talk, but we need to actually trigger the feedback and frame the feedback the right way. Do we give a build? Do we just do a survey? Do we give just paper information? How do we gather the feedback? All of that takes actually organization and structure, and this is what's changed since last year. We've been doing a lot of progress and a lot of changes to really get as much as we can out of the ETF, and there's still more we can do. So the ETF, thanks to that, has grown, and it needs to grow even more, because the more members we have in the ETF, the more we can get to represent all type of players. And because it's very important that it's not just the most active players, we really want to have as representative a pool as possible. So also people that are interested in other things, people that play less, and for that we need a significant amount of members.
Yeah, and last year we were here announcing Survivors, and we announced the signups for the ETF. We did a lot since there, a lot of closed tests, a lot of feedback rounds. You can notice how the work or the impact of the ETF in the last Dust Storm event. They helped a lot to shape, to polish, to deliver in a very good state compared to what was Cherry Blossom. So they had a huge role on helping with that specific event. And we came here at Gamescom and we mentioned that they would be the first ones to test Survivors. We had some of them at Massive earlier this year. We have a nice B-roll to show. They had a small glimpse of what's going to be the new DLC. So we have some people actually some people here who is in this B-roll as well. And yeah, it is amazing. Obviously, and I want to make very clear about this, the majority of the ETF work is done online. It's not only those visits. Sometimes people may think that it's only when they come to Massive that we actually hear the players. We do this ongoingly through the whole year. And during this visit, they had the opportunity to play Survivors. This is what we're seeing now. But also, we talk a little bit about the DLC, right, Yannick? So yesterday we announced more details of Echoes of Central Park. And has anything surprised you about the feedback you received?
Yeah, so when the ETF was at Massive, we shared just a glimpse of our ideas for Central Park, and that was some time ago. It was very interesting to do that on site because sometimes it's great to get like hot reaction. Like we put a concept, we put an idea on the screen, and we want to see how people immediately emotionally connect with it and react to it. And I think that's the real value when we do these kind of things. And so we started talking about the idea of Echoes of Central Park and this DLC, and we could immediately get the fresh reactions from it. And some of those confirmed our assumptions, and there were some other things as well that actually, without necessarily challenging what we wanted to do, at least gave us a clear framing and some lines we shouldn't cross. So I think that was very early on, because at this point all we had was just like concepts and some ideas. But that was already allowing us to frame the DLC to make sure that we are following the right path and we are not crossing lines we shouldn't cross.
And when we recruited more people, something that I think is very important to say is that we are trying to be more diverse. So it's not only content creators who were part of the ETF in the last year, but we invited more and more casual players and regular players, because that's one of the most important opinions for us, because they're the majority of the community. And when they came to Massive in February, they had the opportunity to play Survivors. You were there. We've seen the B-roll, Magnus. How valuable was the feedback that you got from Survivors there?
The word I used earlier was priceless, right? It's invaluable, and I think it's because you mentioned this thing about getting not just veteran players, but getting new players and players of all skill levels. This is vital as well. So everyone can sign up. I think that's the important thing. And the other thing, that people might not realize is that when we test, we're not just looking for problems. We're not just looking for friction. We're not just looking for what doesn't work. We're also looking to validate the things we hope work and that we think works. Our assumptions, as you said, is the word you use. We validate, and that feeling when we like, oh, we think this is so cool, and then we have it, and people play it, and they also think it's cool, then it's like, whew, that is almost, I would say, the most important thing. And of course, we love the bugs and the problems as well, but the validation of like the cool stuff, absolutely critical as well. So yeah, fantastic feeling.
And if you guys were hoping for another shot to apply for the ETF, today is your lucky day. We are opening its gates once more, so we're looking for passionate players, like the guys have talked about, not just the most experienced ones. So if it sounds like you, give it a shot and apply. And for clarity, the closed test sign up that we discussed before, if you're an ETF member, you have a secured spot for this, so you won't have to roll the dice again. Okay, so we talked about the future, looking at survivors and about building that future together with the community. But you know, for that future to actually happen, the Division 2 itself needs to have a bright future. So Yannick, how is the forecast looking?
Well, it's looking great. I mean, we are not slowing down. We have no plans on slowing down anytime soon. And as you know, we have another season coming for year 8. We have great stuff. We have a DLC. We have survivors. We have a lot of great things coming. But yeah, we don't plan to slow down even after that. Yeah, what's very important is that year 7 last year was a huge success for us with the release of Battle for Brooklyn and everything that came together after that. And with year 8, we are building on that success. And we are taking everything that worked and we're adding more. And one of the focus for year 8 for us was really to try to expand, to try to not just do more of what we do, but also try other things. And we've been experimenting with a bunch of ideas. We've also been investing in things like we wouldn't invest before, like we are doing some PvP support now. We've worked with the Dark Zone, like touched finally the Dark Zone, which is something we couldn't do before, or we wouldn't have dared to do before. So we're really trying to broaden as much as possible the appeal of the division and try to touch as many players as we can. And I think what's year 8 proven so far is that there is a real appetite. Like there is a whole bunch of people out there. We have our people who still play the game and that have been with us for so long, but there's a lot of people out there that are interested, that are looking for a home, that are trying to see what is the game I'm going to be invested with. So we need to be here and show them the division and be like, well, this could be the game for you. And with year 8, we've done strides with that. We've done a lot of things: DLC, PvP. I talked about Incursion, Dark Zone, and so on. So yeah, with that in mind, year 8 so far pretty good. The second half of year 8 is going to be even better. But as I said, we're not slowing down, and I'm very happy to tell you very confidently today that there will be a year 9 for sure.
That's awesome, and you just listed a lot of things for us about what happened and what's gonna happen in year 8, and it supports a lot the tagline that we used all the time, that it's never been a better time to be an agent. So can we expect the same thing for year 9?
Yeah, as I said, we don't want to slow down. So I can't really tell you much about year 9 just yet. News will be coming. But what you can expect is you can expect the same cadence. You can expect the same level of support. You can expect the same level of ambition, the same commitment, and the same hunger from the team to succeed and to keep delivering new things for the players.
We also have Division Day in this roadmap. What can you share about that?
Yeah, March is such an important date for the division. As you know, this is where we've launched our games, Division 1 and Division 2. This is where we celebrate our anniversaries. We had a big anniversary celebration this year for the 10 years anniversary of the Division 1 and the 7 years of Division 2. So we really want to make that a habit, that every March you can expect that moment to share for us, to be together, to share the legacy of the division and to just have fun and be together. So yes, there will be a big celebration, and this is also where we are going to be ready to reveal more about year 9.
Yes. It's starting to be time to wrap up. It's been a blast. And you know, if you're into the ETF and testing, don't forget to sign up, and don't forget to play the new season Red Horizon out today.
Yeah, and also something that we shared yesterday that it's very important is that we are, Central Park Showcase. We're going to have on September 24th the big review of the DLC. So if you want to know more about what's coming, what happened in Central Park, that's the date. Mark in your calendar and be there with us. I think that's it. And guys, thank you so much for joining us at Gamescom. Everyone who was watching from home, the people who have shown up here. It's amazing to see in person the players, and it's amazing to see the support that you have online as well.
Yeah, and don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for when we announce how to sign up for the next virus test.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.